Hi, I'm Katie.
And I am Brooke, and we are with Sunkissed Gardening. So today, I'm going to be going over the free ways that you can get started, and Katie is going to be going over the cheap ways that you can get started. And honestly, like, our whole goal is to show that you really don't need a lot of money to get started. Like, probably you have most of the supplies that you already need in your home. Okay, so for starting your seeds, you are going to want a smaller container that they can grow in, and that you have more control over, like the moisture levels and the temperature, because these can be moved in or outdoors. And what I like using is just different types of plastic that I'm like seeing around my house. And so this is a water bottle, yogurt cup, and then you're gonna always wanna make sure that you drill drainage holes at the bottom of whatever you use. So usually I obviously throw these away. These are fruit containers that you buy at the store that have like raspberries or strawberries, blueberries, and they are perfect. All I needed to do was cut the other half of it off. We concluded that we don't think these drainage holes are too big. So Katie made these awesome little newspaper origami things out of her kids' coloring books.
You could use newspaper though. That's what the YouTube video I saw for them.
Okay, so go ahead and talk about these. Was it actually hard to make?
Not at all.
Okay, we'll link the YouTube video.
Super easy. Once you do one, you can do 100 so fast.
Okay.
And the benefit of these compared to something like the plastics is you can plant these directly into the soil or whatever space you're going to be, you know, transferring your seedlings to. What I have here are some cheap ideas for getting your seeds started and containers in which to put them. These are my preferred thing, this or the newspaper method, because you can plant your seeds in these and then put this container directly into the soil when they're ready to be transplanted. These are also great. These are just from the dollar store. I think it's like a 10 pack or whatever. There's tons of drainage holes, which is great. Really easy to manipulate so that you can get your seeds transferred nicely. This was a little bit more expensive. It's like a little greenhouse setup from, I got it at Walmart. It was like $6. And when you add water to these, they'll expand. You just add water on top. These will all grow taller. It's kind of magical.
It's like those little kid like foam things.
Yeah, but for garden soil. And then once they're all fluffed up, then you can plant your seed in directly. You could get your whole garden started with just one of these for what, $6.
Okay, so now we're gonna go over soil. And so some free ways to get good soil for starting your seeds is if you compost, if you have like a compost tumbler or a worm bin, or just like a pile that's like a pile that's been accumulating in your backyard, you can use that as your seed starting soil. And another free way is to literally just like dig up some soil in your backyard, or your mom's backyard, or your grandma's backyard if you don't have a backyard, and just test it out. I'm always of the mindset, like, just try it out. Like, when someone asks me a question, I'm always just like, just try it out and see what happens.
It might just surprise you.
Exactly.
All right, so some cheap ways to get started soil-wise with your little seedlings. This is some seed starting mix. This bag I think is like $5 or $6 at Walmart. Another brand for Miracle Grow.
That's the thing that you're looking for.
Seed starting.
And you're gonna notice if you compare seed starting soil to like regular potting soil, you're gonna notice that it has such a fluffy texture. And that's one thing that is important when you're starting seeds, is you want something that's more fluffy, that will have really good drainage.
Yes, and it's easy for those little seeds to grab root into. Another way that I showed you kind of earlier with the mini greenhouse is these little peat moss pellet things. You can buy these in like a pack of 20 or 25 for maybe $4 or $5. Next up, you're gonna want a tray or something to hold your little cups or containers so that you can keep them all in one area and move them around accordingly. And you can get really creative with this. Cookie sheet.
These are actual like potting, this is a really old one, but you can find these at Home Depot for so cheap, I don't even know, it's like $2 or something, and it's like a pack of 5. And like we mentioned earlier, like you really want to provide a controlled environment, and then also make sure that they're getting enough sun. And so depending on like the time of day in my house, different parts of my house gets sun, and so I like to just move my little seedlings to make sure that they're in the sun. And this is the same thing, but it's just a sturdier version, a reusable version. You can reuse this, but these will just eventually just crack on you, especially in Arizona.
The first video we discussed what kind of seeds would be best for your area or what season.
That's getting started part 1.
And so basically get your seeds, pick out your varieties, buy your seeds at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, or your local nursery. They might be able to provide you. Oh yeah, even Amazon.
Yeah.
Your local nursery might have a little bit more information as to what will be best for your local area.
All right, and the last thing that you will need is something to water your seedlings with. So you probably won't want to use a regular watering can because it's going to be a little too much water. My little mantra with seedlings is you want to make sure that they're not too wet, not too dry, not too cold, not too hot. You just want a very like controlled, mild environment for them. Honestly, my favorite thing is just a water bottle, and then I nailed, I didn't use a drill, I just used a hammer and nail, 3 holes at the top. That's been my favorite way, and it's free if you have water bottles around your house.
So Brooke just showed you her favorite free way of watering. The next best thing I think is just a spray bottle.
So if you are super confused about what to grow, like we mentioned earlier, part 1 of our Getting Started series is knowing what to grow, and we kind of focus more on desert area. There's not a ton of information. We live in Arizona, so what applies to a lot of places in the US, it just doesn't apply here. I swear the rules are a little different because it's so dang hot and so dang dry. And so our Getting Started series is more for like Arizona, desert growers, Nevada, California. Just refer to that video if you want to know exactly what to grow.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for watching part 2 of our Getting Started series. Thank you for watching part 2 of our Getting Started series.
Make sure you subscribe. We'll have more videos coming your way.
Yeah, get ready for part 3.